All right, what's going on, YouTube? So today we just had day one of the NFL free agency, right? And I'll be honest, this is a big day. A lot of moves were made, blockbuster moves, and I'll get into what the Giants did today. But the one that stands out today was Saquon Barkley signing with the Eagles. Okay, so the Giants didn't franchise tag Saquon Barkley to $12 million franchise tag deal, right? And so there were negotiations with the Texans, and the Eagles showed a lot of interest in him in the same period. But he ended up choosing the Eagles because the Eagles signed him to a higher deal. That deal is a 3-year deal worth 37.75 million with incentives that can go up to 46 million. So that's what, 12 million, 12 and a half million with incentives that goes to 15 million per, which makes him literally the second highest running back paid in history, right behind Christian McCaffrey. Now, I had no issues with Saquon Barkley leaving, right, ever since Joe Shane franchise tagged him last season, right, at the beginning of last season. Kind of knew what direction they were going in, and it's fine, whatever. I think it's time to move on. I think it was a good thing. I'm happy for him. But he goes to the Eagles. Like, bro, you go to a division rival, right? You couldn't go anywhere else. I mean, the Eagles overpaid, let's be honest. They overpaid Saquon Barkley. Saquon hasn't been the same guy since his rookie year, right? He ran for over 1,300 yards with 11 touchdowns, averaging 5 yards per carry on 261 attempts. I mean, that Saquon was great. But then every single year after that, he didn't do much, right? He didn't equate to winning, right? And I don't want to hear the QB excuse. Oh, well, you went from Eli Manning to Daniel Jones and the O-line sucked and everything. Well, you played with Eli Manning for 1 year. You had Odell Beckham outside. Didn't do anything. 6-win team. And then you get Daniel Jones, and to be honest, I mean it's the same thing. If you're that great a running back, we should have been winning. Don't get me wrong, I love Saquon Barkley, but it's just and now you go on his Instagram and he's posting, many men, and it's to him with photoshopping his jersey to an Eagles jersey. Man, he's eating this up, you know? So I guess the Giants just meant nothing to you, right? It'd be one thing. It's like, all right, fine, whatever. I think James Bradbury also left for the Eagles, with the Giants, and right when Joe Shane Brian Dable took over, he goes to the Eagles, which is also pretty weird. So, I want to root for Saquon. I mean, fun guy to watch, right? Great running back, don't get me wrong, but now going to the Eagles, now I can't vote for you, bro. I can't root for you. Because now you're with the Eagles. Now you got that stupid bird on your helmet, the ugly green. I don't like the Eagles, right? I'm a Giants fan. Can't like the Eagles. And I just, I don't get it. And, again, the Eagles overpaid. You're going to go play for Nick Sirianni, who I don't even know what he does, for that run. They had that 1 year, 2 seasons ago when they made it to the Super Bowl. And all this guy was just so annoying, bro. All he was doing is just getting in your face, in the camera, smiling, laughing, just throwing little temper tantrums. But meanwhile, his coaches underneath him, the offensive coordinator, Steve Steichen, and Jonathan Gannon for the defensive coordinator, they're the ones doing everything. As soon as they leave, you know, they go 10-1, and then they flop and go what, 1-6. The next season, 1-5, 1-7, something like that. They bounce in the first round. How do you go from the Super Bowl to bouncing in the first round of the playoffs? That's you're gonna go play with? I mean, they still got a great offensive line. No more Jason Kelsey, but now I think they have Kellen Moore now, who's probably the next guy to take over for Nick Sirianni. Let's be honest. I mean, Kellen Moore is not going to sign for to just be another offensive coordinator now. You got AJ Brown, you got Devontae Smith on the outside. They got weapons there. So, I mean, Saquon should go off, but just his last season, 900 yards at what 3.9 average yards that he's running for. What 6 touchdowns? I mean, that's what the Eagles paid for. I mean, he was healthy in 2021, didn't really do anything. 2022, he goes off too, with 1,300 yards again. But honestly, that was more due to Daniel Jones and Brian Dable, the first year together, and them kind of profiting over that. And I get it, right? They didn't really. You wanted to get offered $15 million, so you go to the Eagles because that's what they're offering. I mean, the Giants offered you what 13 million, 12 million that bye week 2 years ago, and they still tried to offer you 13, but you rejected them twice. So now you're talking about you want to be a Giant for life, but you know you don't want to be a Giant because all of a sudden as soon as you leave, you're showing all this hate for the Giants. So you didn't want to be a Giant for life. Maybe it was true before, and you were talking about, oh, I'm gonna sit out because I know my worth, this and that. And this is just how it is now with the RB running back market. It's kind of sucky, but no one's getting paid, and it's because you're getting injured. You come out of college, that's really a prime. Like Christian McCaffrey is like a unicorn. I mean, he had a thousand season. He's got 1,000 receiving yards and 1,000 rushing yards. That's why he got paid what got paid. Same thing with Alvin Kamara. He's a receiver and he's a running back. Like these are great like running backs that kind of do it all. Same thing with Derrick Henry. This guy ran for 2,000 yards behind a trash offensive line, and he's getting paid 12 million, bro. Like that's Derrick Henry. So with all that being said, still still happy that he got what he wanted, right? I know that's what he was trying to fight for, but with the Giants, it was in the best interest of the Giants for him to just walk. Um, you know, and you got to start something new. It just wasn't working out here. We have a lot of different issues that the Giants need to work out, and I think signing Saquon Barkley was just not going to get it done. I wish he would have went to the Texans. Played with C.J. Stroud, Tank Dell, and all of them over there, right? But I guess now we're gonna have just watch Saquon Barkley faces twice a year, against the Eagles. So, whatever. It is what it is. We'll see what happens next. But aside from that, Giants made a lot of moves, you know, today. Aside from, releasing Saquon Barkley, which is starting early with, I think it was that tackle. Here we go. Right here. The biggest story of them all is Giants trading for Brian Burns. And so the Giants received Brian Burns, two-time Pro Bowl, which I think this is great. So Brian Burns and pick number 166, so a fifth-round pick. Panthers receive pick number 39 in this year's draft and pick number 141, so a second and a fifth, and a 2025 fifth-round pick, I believe, right? And then we also signed into an extension, 5 years, $150 million with 87.5 guaranteed. This kind of, again, makes him one of the highest paid defensive players in the league. And honestly, rightfully so. Brian Burns, this guy's great. I've been watching him for some years now. 25 years old, great, absolute beast. Well, he had 10 plus sacks, I think, and he had 9 sacks, 2021 and 22. He had 10 plus sacks. So you put him opposite side of Kayvon Thibodeau, who also had 10 plus sacks, and now you're looking like a dominant front seven. But Dexter Lawrence too. This is a great, great sign. And then you see him posting on, I think, was it Twitter, you know, the rush hour little scene with Jackie Chan saying he wants to come to New York and see Madison Square Garden. So now this is great. Yeah, I'm really excited that we got Brian Burns, much needed, right? We need to, Azeez Ojulari just can't really stay healthy. He'll be a great depth piece, but with Brian Burns, it's gonna bring us to the next level. We also signed John Runyon Jr., 3 years, 30 million guaranteed. 17 million guaranteed for $30 million, so 10 million per year. Um, I mean he's good. The one most important thing about him is that he started all 17 games at right guard for the Packers. So he's definitely going to be a starter. Right, he's going to be solid. We need people that are healthy. Right, it was like a caravan of our offensive line just being unhealthy and just going out of games, which is not good. So he also signed Devin Singletary. This is just a pure Brian Dable, Joe Shane connection. The Buffalo Bills. So signed Devin Singletary for 3 years, 16 mil. Which is also good, right? He's also been healthy. He only missed one game in the last 4 years, averaging 4.2 yards per carry. So, it's not Saquon, but I'll take it. We got a lot of other um, weaknesses to address, so it's good. And then also Jermaine Eluemunor, right? 2 years, 14 million. Sorry if I butchered that name. He appeared on 17 games as well. So this is also a connection with the new offensive line coach that we got. Came over from the Raiders. And, he played 12 games at right tackle and two at left tackle. So you're kind of looking at Evan Neal's replacement here, which is, a big deal. A big guy, 29 years old, and you're shoring up the line. And again, so overall solid moves from Joe Shane. So and also Xavier McKinney leaves to the Packers. I really love Xavier McKinney, but yeah, I think it's time to just make a proper rebuild with the Giants. Proper rebuild. Got to get rid of these Dave Gettleman guys, and so far so good, right? These moves are pretty good. Trying to build off this with the draft as well coming up next month. Got to get a QB, but I'll get more into that later. So we're definitely shoring up the line for a new QB, but yeah, overall good day. Saquon Barkley thing it's gonna hurt, but we'll see what happens in the future. So that being said, I'm out. Take care.